So basically, objective of today class is to understand the routing protocols, routing feature on Cisco ASA. What kind of routing protocol we have, or we can run in ASA firewall. Okay. So actually, there I also need to add one more protocol, which is BGP, because now ASA also support the BGP. So basically, we use routing protocols to get the routing details, to get the route for a particular destination. Let's suppose if I want to go to the Google server. So for that, I need a route where our ASA firewall send this traffic, this Google traffic. So that's why we usually configure the routing on firewalls. Okay, that is the concept of routing. So basically, in Cisco ASA supports the static routing, dynamic routing. In dynamic routing, it supports the RIP, OSPF, EIGRP, and VGP. So RIP, OSPF, and EIGRP, these three are the interior gateway protocols. Generally, we run these protocols in our inside networks. Okay, so let's suppose this is my inside network. Okay, this is my inside infrastructure of my company. So we generally run these protocols, RIP, EIGRP, and OSPF in this domain only. Okay, here we all maybe we also have here lots of other router and switches. So we run OSPF, EIGRP on this domain, and we usually run the BGP between our ASA firewall and the ISP. If we are the like very big organization like Cisco, like Facebook, like Google, that time that type of organization only run the BGP. Otherwise, that medium size organization always run the static route, there default route. Okay, we also that authentication, RASA also support the authentication on routing protocols. Authentications means when we enable the routing protocol, so we are communicating with the right peer or not. Okay, basically to ensure that we use the authentication. So basically it is also supported. And the last feature is route tracking. So I will tell you what is route tracking. Okay, so let me go to in my second page. So here we have a static route. So in ASA firewall, how we can add the static route? Okay, so let me go to in my topology here, and let's suppose here in inside network, I'll I'll have two more networks. So let me create two loopback in my inside router. It is inactive. So let me take the access of these devices first. So this is my inside router. So I will create the loopback interface. Loopback interface, it's a like logical interface in the firewall. So I'll just give this command loopback 0 and IP address. I'll give 172.168.1.1/255.255.255.0. I'll also add one more loopback 1. I'll give the IP address 2.1. Let me add the another loopback, which is loopback 2, and let me set the IP address, which is 172.168.3.1. Now if I check my routing, if I want to see what IP address I assign in my interface, so I run this console IP interface brief. Okay, so we have a three interfaces in this router. Okay, if I run the show route command here, so in its router we run show IP route command always. Okay, so we have a connected route for this network 172.168.1.0 because I configure this IP in an interface. Same for 172.162.0 and 172.163.0. So the meaning of this route is if if router receive any traffic which contain this network, basically send towards the loopback 0 interface. That is the meaning of this one. Here I also have one static route. This means if this ASA firewall get anything, any route, any traffic for which it not have the routes, so basically for that it sends this traffic towards this interface 10.1.1.250. Okay, which is the fast Ethernet 0/0 interface. That is the meaning of this thing. So if I go to my firewall here, I check so interface IP brief. So this is my inside interface. See, this is my inside interface. Sorry, this one. This is my inside interface connected with this router. Giga 0/0, which having the IP 10.1.1.250, and this interface having IP address 10.1.1.100. Okay, so if I ping 10.1.1.100, I am able to ping. Why? Because I have a route in my routing table for this network. See, for this network 10.1.1.0, I have one route which is directly connected on inside interface. Or inside interface is this. So our inside interface is the Giga 0/0, which is this interface. Okay. Now what happened? Now I want to reach to these two network 172.168.1.0, which is available in this inside host. So these networks, okay, or these IP address. So IP interface brief. Now I want to ping these three from ASA, but I don't have route for them. See, I don't have any route related to 172.168.1.0 network. Okay, so for that I'll add the static route. So how I can add the static route? I'll give the name of interface which is inside, route inside. After that I'll give the subnet 172.168.1.0. After I give the net marks 255.255.255.0, and the next two IP addresses of this interface, because these basically when ASA send this traffic for 172.168.1.0, 2.0, ASA send this traffic towards this router. So the next hop for this ASA is this interface IP address. Okay, so what is the IP address in this interface, which is 10.1.1.100. Okay, so that is our next hop here, 10.1.1.100. Now if I run this command ping 172.168.1.1, I can ping. See, ping is working. If I ping this one 172.168.2.1, I am not able to ping. See, RASA gave us this message, no route to this host. means we also need to add one more route for this network. So route inside 172.168.2.0.55.255.255.0 and the next hop IP address which is 10.1.1.100. Now if I ping this one, I am able to ping. So my ping is working. I have now I have a connectivity. If I run this command, so route, see, I have one route which is a static route. S keyword means static. If you want to see what is the meaning of this, here we have that S keyword means static. Okay. So here you have a route for 172.161.0 and 2.0, which is via this. This is the next hop and this is the interface. Okay. Now there is also I have one more subnet which is 3.0. So if I ping 3.0, I am not able to ping. If I run this command, ping 3.1, I am not able to ping because I don't have route. So I need to add one more route with this network. So I'll go into this command. I just type 3.0 to 55 and the next one. Now if I ping, I am able to. Like that is the concept of static routes. Okay. Now most important, any one of you aware about the default route or default gateway? I already discussed this thing with you. So anyone, why we use default route or what is the like purpose of using default route or default gateway? Because default route also come under the static route only. See, we had the next topic is adding a default route. Same which I did that time. Okay, so generally we add default route towards the ISP, towards the ISP interface or towards the outside interface which connects us or which connects our ASA firewall with the internet. Okay, so if I go to in my firewall, so name this is Giga Ethernet 0/2 is my ISP. If I go to in diagram, this is the interface which is connected with the ISP. ISP means internet service provider. Okay, so I'll put one default route towards this ISP. Okay, so anyone, what is the next hop for default route? IP of this interface, right? So what is the IP of this interface? I'll just go to into this ISP router and I'll check. So IP interface, I'll run this command. So IP address of this interface is 192.168.1.1. Okay, app 0/0. So if I go to into ASA firewall route outside, I'll give the outside interface because outside interface connected with the ISP. Okay, after that I'll give 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. 0 means we are including all networks. After that we give the next hop which is 192.168.1.1. Enter. Okay, so why we use default route? Anyone, what is the why we use default route? Okay, let me go to once more in ISP router. See, we have these loop back in ISP router 8.8.8.8 and 100 or 100 or 100 or 100, 200 or 200 or 200 or 200. Okay, so if I go to in my ASA firewall and I try to ping 8.8.8.8, it is working. If I remove the static route, sorry, the default route, if I want to remove, I'll just use no. After that, route outside the full command. Okay, now if I try to ping is not working because we don't have route for this network. Okay, that's why we add the static route for reaching any networks or for reaching the public IP addresses. Okay, now I think you are clear with this. So let me again add the static route. So we can also add the default route by using this one route outside 0 0. After that, the next 192.168.1.1. Now if I again ping this one, ping is working. Now if I ping this one 100.100.100, it is working. Okay, so that is the purpose of using default route in our firewall. So we are done with this slide. Now I'm going to next slide, which is dynamic routing. Okay, so these protocols, RIP, EIGRP, OSPF, these are the routing topics. So maybe that Mahinder will tell you what is the like RIP, what is EIGRP, what is OSPF. So I will show you how we can configure these protocols inside the firewall. Okay. Hey, now you can hear me. Okay, now you can hear me. What happened? Hello, now you can hear me or not? Okay. Okay, let me check my audio. Now, okay, maybe actually I'm taking the class from office today. I got some work in the evening, so that's why I'll stuck here only. So no problem. Now I am audible to you guys, right? Okay. Sorry, man. Sorry, guys. Actually, don't know. I didn't use this GoToMeeting. I am familiar with Babex. That's why. Okay. Okay. So basically, that that as these these dynamic routing protocols, that Mahinder will teach you in that routing classes. Okay. He will teach you like that packet, everything regarding RIP, EIGRP, and OSPF. And my objective on that, I will show you the configuration part, how we can configure these in ASA firewall, because generally ASA designed for doing the inspection and netting, not routing, because we have a router for doing the routing thing. Okay, but the thing is sometimes we need to enable these features. Okay, for availability of connect, for that connect, for resolving the connectivity issues. Okay, so how we can configure the lib? Let me show you the commands. So let me go to in this slide. Maybe here I have these commands. Okay, so when we go to config mode, we run this router trip. After that, we define the version. After we define the network and no auto summary. So if I go to in my DMZ, so let me create two more. So I am going to create the two logical interface on this DMZ router as well. So interface loopback 0 MOSFET and the IP address, which is we can use like 168.168.100.100.255.255.0, and second one is let me take the 200. Okay, so loopback 200. Let me also introduce loopback 3. Can we configure the 300? Journal question here. Can we have 300 here? Anyone? People just not yes this question interview. Anyone? Can we have 300 here in place of 200? We can't configure. What is the reason size? Why we don't like take the why we don't use 300 here? What is the reason? Yeah, cool. That is the because it's like 8 bit length only. So which is this rely between the 0 to 255. Do so IP interface brief. So these are my three interfaces. Now if I go to my firewall ASA, so what happens if I run this command so route, I don't have routes for these networks. Okay, these 170 to 150 and I am not also not able to ping these 172.168.100.100. See, anyone tell me where it is sending this traffic, on which interface? Here we have a routing table and I am going to ping this network. So that ASA firewall, where it send that traffic? No, not logical, because logical interface connected on this DMZ router. I am talking about the ASA firewall. This is the routing table of ASA firewall and I am going to ping this network. So where it send this traffic? Did you see we have this route 00000 means it includes everything. If the ASA firewall not having any match on these ones from 10.11, okay, these are 10.22, then it send this traffic onto this interface always. Okay, it include all the routes. So it is sending this traffic towards this. If you want to verify, let me remove this route first. Default route, okay. 0 0 no route outside 0, 192.168.1. Now I have been run this. So right. But now I don't have any route. Now if I again ping this network, okay, it is saying we don't have any route. Okay. If I add this again, and now if I ping, now it is sending the traffic onto 0, 0 network because now I have a default route in my routing table. So route. See, I have one default route. Okay. So let me enable how we can enable the zip. We use router zip enter. After that we define the version. So what kind of version? We have in zip we have two kind of version. Zip version 1, zip version 2, and there is also one more version which is zip ng next generation. Okay, which supports the IPv6. So I'll always use zip version 2 because zip version 2 is the latest one. After it, I use this command no auto summary and I'll define my network. So network is, let me go to, see, I am going to enable the RIP between these ASA1 and DMZ router. So basically on ASA, I'll just include this network, okay, 10.2.2.0. So let me 10.2.2.0. After it we go like this. Okay. Network and auto summary and now I'll go into DMZ network. Router zip enter. Here I define the version 2. See, when we enable any routing protocol, that must be same. If we are using RIP, then both the side RIP is running, okay, on the same interface. Also version must be same. After that I enable the no auto summary. Now here I get the network 10.2.2.0. Here now I also include the network 172. Let me give you one more thing here. Now if I run this command, so RIP, never. What is the command for that? Database. See, we got this one. Okay, this is the RIP database. So router RIP. There is some. Let me run this command. So do so IP so router root 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 we enable the RIP protocol over there. Okay, so let me first add this network. After it, I will show you how we can verify the RIP is working or not. So network 172.168.100.0 200.0 and 150. So IP route. See, I'm getting one route via RIP 10.1.1.0. R means RIP, where we have R somewhere. See, R means RIP. If I run here, so route. See, here I am getting these three routes from RIP 172, 160, 100, 150, and 200. Okay. If I run so RIP database, here we are also getting the database related to RIP. Okay. Like I am getting these routers. If you want to see the so IP protocol. So IP protocols. Okay. By running this command, you can check which routing protocol you are running. Okay. This is the way to configure RIP on ISA as well as on a router. Now if I want to ping this one 172, 168, 100. Ping is working. It's 200. 170. Control 6 ping 172, 168, 150.100. Ping is working. What about 200? Ping is working. Okay. So now you are clear with RIP, how we can configure RIP on firewall. Okay. So the next is how we can configure the EIGRP. So let me do one thing. I also configure the EIGRP between this ASA and this router. Okay. So how we can remove the RIP? If I want to remove, I'll just run this command now. Router RIP. That's it. RIP is removed. Same here. Entity. No. Router RIP. Now if I run this one, do so IP right. RIP is removed. Same here. So route. RIP is removed, right? That is the way how we can remove the RIP protocol. Now how we can configure the EIGRP? Same thing. Route sub router EIGRP. Here we have to define the autonomous system, which is 100. An autonomous system must be seen in both routers, DMZ and this. DMZ router and the ASA firewall. Now same. No auto summary. Here in EIGRP we don't have any command like version. Okay. Because by default EIGRP runs in a version 3. And we also that EIGRP has a version classical and named. Okay. Just remember these two things. ASGRP come in with two versions, classical and name. That's it. After that we add the network 10.2.2.0. After that we define the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. We are done with the ASGRP configuration on ASA. Now let me configure ASGRP in this router ASGRP. This 100 must be same autonomous system 100. After I run this command no let us memory and I will add the network 10.0.0.255.255.255.0. Let I added this network only. Okay. If I see so IP so ASGRP neighbors because ASGRP form the neighbor relationship. Sorry Punya, actually I'm not getting you. Okay, no worries. I think you are clear with RIP or you need to, so I can repeat it again if you are not clear. Okay, so are you guys clear with the RIP protocol, how we can configure RIP? Otherwise I will show you again. Okay, so basically now ASGRP neighbor is up. Okay, now if I check my routing table, so route, see, I didn't get that route 172.168.100.0, 200.0 and 150.0. If I'll see my route ASGRP configure, so run section. I run this command EAGR is run. So we want to see the EAGRP configuration. What we have configured in EAGRP. We have configured this thing. This network only. We didn't add the other networks. Okay. So we need to add these network. Then only that the DMZ HO router advertise them towards the ASA firewall. Okay. So network 172.168.100.0. After I define the subnet mask 255.255.0. If I check now my routing table, see I have got this network. Okay, and ping also working for that 172.168 100.100 ping is all working. If I ping the 200 or 200 ping will work or not? Anyone? Anybody? Ping will work or not for 200? Ping is not working because we don't add 200 in our ASGRP process. Okay, so let me add the 200 also. Now if I try to ping is working. Okay, so we have to add always the route. Okay, into the routing. And now if I want to add the 150, if I ping 150, I will to ping. So that is the way to configure ESGRP. All of you clear with this or not? Guys, at least send your response on chat. Okay, cool. Because if you are not getting these points, then just let me know. I will repeat it again. Because these are the very important thing. These are the like base of your ASA firewall. Okay. So now I want to remove the EIGRP configuration. Same router EIGRP. Or after review of the autonomous system number. EIGRP is removed. Also, when I remove the configuration, neighbor relationship got down. I want to remove the user from here. No. Router AGRP 100. So AGRP is removed. Now we will see how we can configure the OSPF. You see this right? Actually, command is already available there. Okay. So now let me configure the OSPF. Router OSPF. Here we also need to define the process ID, which is, let's suppose I take the 100. In case of OSPF, we can make any process ID. Okay. Here we can use 100. Here we can use 10. No problem. But in case of EIGRP, that autonomous system must be same on both the peers. Okay. After that, we define the router ID. That is must. Router ID. So I'll define this router ID 1.1.1. Anything. You can also make it like 200.200.200.200. Depends on you. Route ID. It's a router. Yeah, it's a router ID. Make router ID. 100. Let me take the final 200. 200. 200. After we define the network. 10.2.2. So we need to define the mask. Especially in case of EIGRP, we need to define the wildcard mask. Okay. 255. Santosh, you can choose this one. Like if this firewall is like your first device, so you can make it like 100.100.100.1. If this is your second device, then you can make it 100.100.100.2. It depends on you only. Or it's like similar to IP address. Okay. So this is my network and this is my wildcard mask. After that, I need to define the area. So I will configure the area 0. So basically for that we don't have any range. So we can it's like similar to IP address. So you can take it like range between the 0 to 255 on all octet. Okay. If you don't define these router ID, so it takes the default router ID, which have some parameters, right? So if we have a IP address on loopback interface, so it pick the loopback IP address as a router ID. Okay. So that it has like first he pick the IP of loopback if we don't configure any. If we don't have any loopback configuration, after that he'll go for the gigabit Ethernet's IP addresses. If we don't have any gigabit interfaces, then it go for fast Ethernet interface. Okay. invalid address of mask 10.000. Let me, yeah, actually we have to give the subnet mask only, not wildcard mask. Actually, I have configured these OSPF and other things 2 years back. That's why I'll forget little bit concepts because we don't use these routing protocol in firewalls. Okay, so we use the network and the subnet mask. Now let me go to into this DMZ. Do show IP interface brief. Okay, so let's suppose in this DMZ HO router we have a loopback interfaces. Okay, so if I don't configure any route ID, it will take this one, I hope. Okay, so let's see. I just name it router OSPF. We can use any process ID. Generally, I'll use same because basically it like help us in case of troubleshooting. Okay. Also, let me add 10 here. After that, I'll just put the network 10.2.2.0 255 255 255.0 and area 0. Network. After that, I that is now 172 168 100.0 255 255.0 and area 0. Now let me add the other one. This is 150. Now let me add that 200 also. Okay. So now let me see. So router OSPF will I'm getting these routes, okay, from OSPF. Let me run it again. So I'm getting these routes, okay. Now we show IP OSPF summary addresses. We have lots of show IP OSPF. See, we configured this router ID, right? In neighbors, it is taking this one. And if I run this command, show OSPF neighbor. See, did you see this one? In ASA, by run this command, I exclude this IP addresses. I use only OSPF. Okay, that is the also difference in command wise. So basically, it is taking this router ID, neighbor ID. Okay. I think you are now clear with this router ID. If we don't configure any, then it takes first the loopback IP address. After that, it go for the fast Ethernet. After it go for Ethernet. If we have any 10 gig interfaces, then it go for 10 gig. After that others like other interfaces. Okay. So that is the way to configure OSPF. Let me see what we have next. Okay, so authentication in ASA routing protocols. So generally what happens, basically in firewall we don't use authentication, okay, and we also don't use these routing protocols. We generally go with the static routes always. We use these we always configure routing protocol on routers always. Remember this thing, okay. So these are the command to configure the authentication, okay. So if I want to configure the authentication on case of OSPF, so there this is the command OSPF authentication message digest. So let me go to into my firewall. Conf. So actually we have enabled that OSPF on this interface, DMZ interface. Okay. So I first check the DMZ interface is kick 0/0. The interface is 0/1. Now here I enable OSPF authentication method digest. I just enter. Now OSPF authentication key. I'll give the key which is Cisco. That's it. That is the way to configure authentication. If I check so OSPF never. Right now I have a never relationship, but it will break in 40 seconds because it is sending the hello every time. As you can see, it is break. So now if I go to in my DMZ router, if I go to router OSPF 10, here we have these commands for authentication. Actually, I forgot the exact command. So let me first go to interface. Interface F0/0 IP OSPF. Yeah, that is the command. IP OSPF authentication. It is similar to the ASP command, but little bit different only. Authentication message digest. That is the first command. And IP OSPF authentication key. That is the second one. So we use the same key. Cisco. Okay. Now if I check OSPF never see OSPF never see resistance again. Okay. That is the way to configure the authentication and routing protocols. Generally, we don't use these routing protocols in the firewall. I'm just telling you because in interviews, sometimes people will ask what kind of routing protocol the ASA supports. Okay. Static route tracking, that is the most important topic. Okay. So for this topic, so what is the meaning of static route tracking? Generally, what happens? We configure the default route towards the ISP router. Okay. So what happens? We always track if our ISP goes down, what happens in that case? How we can know our ISP is down? So for getting this information, we generally use the static route tracking. The static route tracking feature provides a method for tracking the availability of a static route and installing a backup route if the primary route fails. For example, you can define a default route to an ISP gateway and a backup default route to a secondary ISP. In case the primary ISP become unavailable, that time you can use this concept of static route tracking. So right now we have this kind of scenario. So let me introduce one more router here just for labbing this feature. Cisco, I'll use this one. Let's suppose this is the ISP2. Can I connect this firewall? I need to first stop this guy. After that only I can connect. Write memory. So basically, let's suppose this is our ISP2 link. Okay, let me add one ISP02, and I also write the subnet 192.168. Let's suppose I am using here 100.0/24 network. In this place, now I just start my this ASA, and I also start this router. So let me configure this router first. It is booting up. See, that dual ISP scenario you always find with any company. Everyone have right now that kind of scenarios. They have a two ISP for backup purpose. If ISP1 goes down, that time we have ISP2 for forwarding our traffic. So all of you guys install this EvenJ. Anyone install or not? Okay, so let me configure this router first. Host name. I give the host name ISP02. I just give the IP address on this interface. If I run this now set command, IP address 192.168.1. 255.255.255.0. We have done the configuration from here. Now let me see this is come or not. It not start booting yet. Anyone installed this EVNG or not? Guys, install this software. This is very important. Because after that only you can start your labs. So when you are doing labs, you just follow my approach, how I can start, how I can configure the IP address, how I can configure the routes, everything, and you just ping these, you are reachable or not. That is the best way to practice. It is rebooting, it takes hardly 2 minutes to come. We have static route tracking. Yeah, that all come in this static route tracking only. This is the configuration steps. Define an SLA monitor process. So first we run this SLA monitor. After we give the SLA ID. It's a numeric value. After we need to define the reachability test. So we use this one, type echo protocol IPICMP echo. After we give the target IP address. Target IP address we generally give the Google public DNS IP address. After we define our interface, which is our outside interface or a secondary interface. After that we give our name. Here we define a frequency. Frequency means basically when it's find like when primary routes goes down, so it starts sending this traffic towards that backup interface. So in case of frequency, if that route goes down, so basically it sends ICMP traffic towards the target IP address in every 60 seconds if we define, right? There is a number of packets. If we define like what kind of number of packets we define, if we define 3 packets, so it sends first packet. After that it send, after 60 seconds it send again the second packet. After 60 seconds it send again the third packet. Here is the timeout value. Default is 5. I think it is in millisecond. After we schedule the SLA monitor process and we just enter the track object. So you just need to remember this configuration. That's it. It's like these are the topics which that routing I teach you always, because these are the routing topics. Because in router we have lots of feature, like lot different kind of SLA monitor things there. But in firewall we have only few commands to configure. Okay, so my AC is come now. Enter my password here. I'll go into my configuration mode. So I have connected this AC with the Giga 0/3 interface. So let me go to in my firewall. I'll configure the IP address, which is no set. IP address, which is 192.168.100.250, and the net mask 255.255.255.0. After it, I define the name. So I'll just define the, I'll give this name as a backup ISP, and security level is 0. So here basically this is our primary ISP and this is our secondary ISP link. So for primary ISP I have one route, so run route. One default of this is pointing towards the primary ISP. Now I also need to add one backup route. Now I'll just give the name is value here backup ISP, default of 00, and the next is 192.168.100.1. After that we define the distance value here. Okay, AD value, administrative distance. If we don't define, if we run this command, it will not take. See, cannot add route entry because conflict with the existing routes, because we have the existing route here. Okay, so I'll just go to there and I'll define 254, the AD value. AD value we can define between 1 to 255, so I'll use 254. Now if I run this command, so route, so right now my primary route is active. Okay, so if I ping this website 8.8.8.8, it is pinging. Okay, because my I have no primary routes.
available in my server.
Let's suppose if primary goes down, then what happens? So I'll go to in this ISP, I'll just shut down this interface. Okay, F0/0 in ISP1. You just put your whole concentration. Okay, maybe here you are getting some confusion.
This is a very high level concept. No sir. So now ISP interface shut down. Means this
Interface is down, so this connection is down. If I go to in my ASA firewall again, now if I run this command, so route, but I still
have this route in my interface, right?
in my routing table, but our ISP is down
Already.
I ping this network. This is dotted, my traffic is dropping, right? To overcome this problem, we use the SLA, IP SLA. Okay. How we can define this SLA? SLA monitor. We define the SLA ID. We can define 10, any. We have a lots of numbers there. After that, we just I define the type echo. It's a like very simple command. You just use question mark protocol. IP ICMP. See here we define the target IP address. So I'll define the target IP address as a
primary ISP IP address. Okay, 192.168.1.1 for we have 192.168.1.1
this interface. Okay. After I define the interface is I define outside interface here. Now here we have lots of configuration, like I need to define the frequency. Frequency means frequency of an operation. I'll usually define 3. Cannot set frequency to be less than timeout. Okay. So maybe it in seconds. So let me timeout for. So let me check the timeout value first. Timeout. It's not like that. Leave it these thing default. Okay. So I'll just exit from there. I'm using the default configuration. So what is our next command here? See, basically we are using the same thing. Frequency in second default is 60. Okay, we need to define a like 60 second at least, the minimum value, and less than with this timeout value. Okay. So if I go to in my second, now we need to start this schedule. Schedule means when we need to start this SLA. SLA means service level agreement. So I want to start it now. So SLA, we have that monitor and we have schedule. Number is 10. When we need to schedule start time now, life is forever. Then now we need to define the track. right, I'll just use the same M10
response
time reporter.
Here we define
Our SLA number 10 and the reachability done. Now I'll just go to in my default route, so run route. At the time, let me go to in my ISP. Let me just no set this interface. Okay. Now I'll just enter route outside 00 192 168 1.1 and the track value. Track is 10. So route. So right now it is tracking this. Right now we have a primary ISP available. Okay. If we need to see the SLA configuration, so we have this command. So SLA monitor. There is a statics command. Yeah, operational state. Okay, this is the command to see SLA monitor, like entry modification timeout. We are getting this much information over there. Timeout occurred correct. Okay, and the operation entry active. This is the main. If it is active means our SLA is working now. And if I run this console route, this route is active right now. So if I again go to in my ISP here and I'll just run the, I just shut down this command, this interface. So means now our ISP become
unreachable.
I'll check the routing table again. It has routed. Will remove this route after like few seconds. Let's see the operational states. It is active now. Okay, that's why it is not removing. Let's wait a couple of more seconds. Ping 192 168 1.1. Ping is not working. So route, it is still available. What is the operational states here? It is active. So run SLA. Let me check the configuration if I did some mistakes. To run SLA monitor. SLA 10, SLA monitor 10 live schedule. This one, then the reachability of this IP address from outside internet, that is correct. So run track 10 response time report and reachability. Configuration is correct. I also have applied okay, sorry, actually I also have this route in my routing, that's why. Let me remove this one. That is the like main cause. Now we have this route only. If I run this console, route it again. See, it takes the backup route. So SLA, SLA. Now state also shows like inactive SLA monitor 10. So SLA monitor operational states. See, now operational state entry is still active. It must be like connection loss occurred. Let me check the routing again. So route here. So it takes the backup route. Let me go
Between ISP again. If
I know the this interface. Now
it must be moving to the primary. This is out. Wait
a couple of minutes. Ping 192, 168 on the 1. That's why I'm able to ping. Now maybe route will change. See, now route also changed with the primary only. Okay. Show SLA monitor 10, not 10 operational states. That is state. Operational state means, see, it is like when we start this SLA. That means it shows active, means it is started now. Okay. There is also few more commands related to if you want to see. So track. Yeah, here basically see if reachability
means we are
our primary route is active. So let me again go to in this ISP. If I shut down this interface, if I continuously see the track, so route also, it will switch in some time into the backup one. Let's wait for some time. Its reachability is still up. If I ping this 192.168.1.1, not able to ping, just wait for couple of maybe because it switch over in 1 minute or 2 minutes by default. When we configure that kind of things, we do some R&D. See, now reachability is down. Now if I check my routing information, so route, see my route also move into the backup one. Okay, so now you understand what is IPSLA. So I think this is the last token. See, we have a track is up and down. Okay, we have these commands to see the configuration. So like that is the routing features which we have in Cisco SA Firewall. Okay. So if you guys just install these EVNG today, just complete. Okay, I think maybe today is the last class. Now weekend will start, right? So the thing is, we will meet you on Monday. So till Monday, you just complete the installation of these EVNG in your systems. Okay, everyone, just follow this video. If you need any help, just ping me over mail. I will be available on that. So I will take you remote in that Saturday, Sunday, and just configure and help you out how you can like get the access of these EVNG properly. Okay. Or if anyone need to do some practical, I have one EVNG installed in my office network, so I can also give you for practicing if you want, but it is like limited for you only 2-3 hours because I also need to do some practice on that. Okay guys, thank you very much. I'm just ending this meeting now.